just bought a 2024 1LT Corvette with the Z51 performance package. Yeah, so we've got 431 miles to go to get back to Tampa.
In 1 mile, keep right.
We're about to turn right. But yeah, it's not the best day. It's ash. You can tell these roads are wet. Not the perfect conditions to be driving a brand new car in without having any kind of protection on the bumper or anything. So I'm trying to keep my distance from other cars. Hopefully there's not too many rock chips. Or amazing car. Not the best financial decision to go out and buy one, which buying a car never is, but especially one this expensive. But you know, it's not always about money. It's not always about making the best financial decisions in life. Sometimes it's about being happy, right? And what makes you happy. It's not trying to show off at your own goals and you know, having a nice car or a fast car or something that I look in my driveway and I'm proud of is what I was going for. And you know, this isn't a Ferrari or a Lambo or anything like that. I mean, I know I'm not at the top of the food chain when it comes to those kind of things, but this car makes me happy, and I'm sure whatever you've got makes you happy, and that's what's really, you know, what it's all about. So we're gonna put some more miles on this car. We're gonna see what kind of miles per gallon we get on the way home. You know, it's estimating 16 and 25, so we'll see where we're at once we get to the end of this trip. We'll stop, you know, somewhere along the way and let the wife drive it for a few miles. You know, she's pretty excited about it too. She's not as into cars as I am, but you know, I let her start it up in the dealership before we took off and give it a couple revs, and you know, the smile on her face was just as big as the smile on my face standing behind the car listening to it. So there's definitely some excitement in her. We'll get her behind the wheel and see if we can bring it up a notch for her. So yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be doing a few videos in this series, and you know, trying to support Volt VR and what he's trying to do on YouTube. That's my son, if you don't know. And I'm his #1 fan, so anything I can do to help his dream of being a famous YouTuber come true, I will. So, you know, I think in this video series we'll kind of, you know, it'll be based around the Vet, but you know, hopefully some of the viewers, y'all go ahead and like and subscribe to his channel, and you know, or let your kids know. He does a lot of gaming stuff, VR gaming and gaming on his computer. He's only 10 years old, so you know, the audience may not be the same audience that are viewing these videos, but you know, any kind of you know, help we can give him, please help me, you know, get his name out there and you know, help him reach his goals the way you're trying to reach your goals and the way I'm trying to reach my goals in life. So anyway, stay tuned, more to follow. 423 miles to go. We're in the Vet. Got 28 miles on the odometer right now. So the ultimate question, how comfortable are these Corvette seats in a 6.5 hour road trip? We are 20 minutes into the trip, and they're not too bad. I mean, obviously it's you're not in a G-Wagon or something like that. You feel the bumps on the road. You feel, you know, you're snug in the seat. You got these side bolsters that kind of hold you from moving around. But they're adjustable. You find your comfort position, and you know, we'll roll with it. So we'll check in again at about 150, 200 miles and see if my opinion's changed at all. So I think, like, you know, most of you watching this video right now, before you buy a Vet, like, you're gonna look up all the videos and try to learn as much as you can about it. You know, one of the things that I was paying special attention to was the break-in period and the tachometer. So, you know, everybody talks about the tachometer being limited to 4,500, and me thinking that this is an automatic and there's, you know, Chevy programmed something in here, thinking that I wasn't going to be able to rev past 4,500. Needless to say, I started playing around with the different, you know, performance modes and getting on it a little bit here and there. Just hit 56 miles. So, you know, not doing a ton, but we're on these Georgia back roads trying to find the highway and, you know, just trying to get to know this car a little bit better. And the tachometer is not limited. So it is completely on you to, you know, abide by this recommendation of not going over 4,500 RPMs. You know, nobody ever talks about that. So if you didn't know, now you know. Alright, I'm not sure how this video is going to turn out. It's a, you know, 6.5 hour drive. Looks like we're right at 5 hours remaining. I'll just keep recording random thoughts and try to splice it all together into a video and hope it works out. Alright, so we just hit 150 miles. Pretty much kept it in touring mode, and it's been a pretty smooth ride. Seats are still comfortable. No complaints. A couple cars try to race me already. Obviously this one's not ready to go to Mexico, but soon enough we'll be on those streets. No, I'm joking, I'm too old for that stuff. But yeah, just a quick update. You know, we hit 150 miles in touring mode, just cruising, got the cruise control set. I will say that the cockpit is definitely designed for the driver, which is awesome. If you're, you know, an enthusiast sort of like I am, then you know, 90% of the time I don't even have anybody in the passenger seat. I'm driving, you know, to work or to the gym or something like that. So to have everything, you know, within reach, you don't have to, you know, fiddle around trying to figure out what you're trying to do. This armrest is, I mean, it's just perfect. Your arm sits on it and your fingers are right where they need to be to press the buttons that, you know, you want to engage. So yeah, so far so good. The sun came out, and hopefully we have a smooth ride the rest of the way. Alright, so we got Chris driving the Vet now, letting her get her feet wet, driving a sports car. She daily drives she dailies a BMW M340, but she typically drives it in baby mode. So we'll see her thoughts on this. We're gonna drive for about an hour and then we'll swap out. So yeah, random thought while I'm watching her drive this beautiful car of mine. I guess it's ours, technically. But you know, I think not everyone can afford a car like this, you know, just like not everyone can afford a Lambo or something like that. And you know, I get that, and truthfully, like, I can't really afford this. You know, financially, I think they say, you know, you shouldn't buy a car that's over, you know, 10% of your annual salary or something like that. You know, so you sacrifice to buy something that you want sometimes, and that's what I did. But when you do those sacrifices and stuff, I guess my best advice is make sure you're doing them for the right reasons. I see a lot of people, especially in Tampa, they buy these Rolex watches or Gucci shoes, and they think it's going to make them cool, and people are going to want to talk to them, or girls are going to want them, or something like that. And you know, the truth is, like, almost 100% of the people who pass me in this car are not going to know I'm the person in that car. The people who see it in a parking lot aren't going to know that I'm the guy inside of the grocery store driving it. You know, so it's not really going to impress anybody by buying something like this. So you got to make sure you're doing it for yourself. That's kind of my point here. Is material things, you know, come and go, and they shouldn't be the center of your life or anything like that. But, you know, I grew up around cars, and I grew up with a passion for cars. And so for me, like, this makes me happy. And of course, that's why I got it. So, you know, if you have to sacrifice things to get the things that you want, then, you know, you'll do that. I'm just saying, don't buy these kinds of things thinking you're gonna become someone that you're not already. So that's my thoughts while Chris is driving the Vet. Still a beautiful car. I wish I was driving it. I got to give her some seat time too, though. It's a long road trip. So anyway, I'll check back in once we get closer to Tampa. All right, I'm back in the Vet. The wife drove it about 50 miles or so. We pulled over and ate at Taco Bell, and one of the things I noticed was, you know, I feel like this car is relatively quiet inside of the cabin. I mean, almost disappointingly quiet. You know, you can somewhat hear the exhaust when you get on it and stuff, but you know, like just cruising, I would expect to, you know, hear more exhaust tone, and I don't. But I think it's really just, you know, all of the insulation or whatever Chevy did to isolate the cabin more, because when my wife was backing into Taco Bell, you know, I was in the Sonata with the windows up and the music on, and I could definitely hear the exhaust. So, you know, I guess it's just kind of quiet inside of the cabin, but outside of the cabin, there's definitely some noise being made. So, still gonna look into some aftermarket exhaust. We want to wake up everybody when we start this thing, so we'll see how it goes, and you know, update you guys when we get there. So I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but one of the other things I've noticed is the brakes are super tight. I would say I press them in, like I barely even touch the brakes, and they're already being applied pretty hard. So I've got the Z51 performance package, the brakes and all that stuff, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But you know, I'm used to pressing the brakes in about a half inch to an inch, you know, for them to start making some kind of impact on my acceleration. But with this car, as soon as your foot touches the brake, you're slowing down. So probably super exciting on a track. We might get there one day. All right, so just hit 300 miles into this road trip. Still feel good in the seat. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's what you would expect from a sports car. Got about 140 miles left, and I wanted, you know, as I'm driving this car, and I'm trying to compare it to something, and I spent a few years living in Germany, and you know, their BMWs cruising at like 110, 120 miles an hour, they seem to just hug the road, and they feel really safe. I mean, you don't get jittery driving that fast in those cars, because they're kind of designed for that high speed, and that's what this car is reminding me of. You know, it wants to go. So, you know, we were cruising at like 90, 100, hit 110 a couple times, and I mean, it just feels safe. It doesn't feel like if you hit a bump or something like that you're going to go spinning out of control. I mean, you feel in control. The steering is really stiff. The car feels like it's you know, got solid contact with the road, and you know, we got to slow down, because insurance prices are high enough without a bunch of speeding tickets on your record. So anyway, 300 miles, 124 more to go, 139 more to go. All right, so we're wrapping up the trip now. We got about 15 minutes till our destination, and we have averaged 22.9 miles per gallon. Average speed 53 miles an hour, and total distance 437. So 400, and I've got 439 on my tachometer. So what is that? About 60 miles to unlock the break-in period, or complete the break-in period. Overall, it's been a good trip. Mustang's I don't know, this car is a Mustang magnet. I thought it was going to be a magnet for other things, but it's definitely a magnet for Mustangs to rev their engines to. We got to play around with a few of them, had some fun. But yeah, overall, you know, the seats, they're not, it's not a Cadillac, right? So, you know, expect know what to expect is what I mean to say. They're not bad, they're not horrible, but you know, it's not a Cadillac. You know you're in a performance car and not a comfort car. So anyway, looking forward to putting more miles on this thing and getting to know it a lot better. We literally showed up, signed papers, got in the car and started driving. So I haven't had time to, you know, fiddle with all the gadgets and everything. So basically all I did was synchronize my phone so I can listen to music on the way, and that's about it. So we'll dive more into it. Like I said, this will be a series of videos on Volt VR's channel. Please like and subscribe. Get him some more subscribers. He loves, especially if you're you know, not in America, he's able to see, you know, when his videos are viewed in other countries and stuff, and that, you know, I don't know, it motivates him and eggs him on, makes him happy. So you know, please like and share, or like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching, and more to come.